Hi, everybody. It's Dee Slater with Create with Dee. Welcome to Wednesday night live at 5, where every Wednesday I'll be here to share with you a class that you can enjoy and hopefully pick up a tip or trick along the way. Before we get started on tonight's class, let me take off just something here just real quick. I think there was a little bit of an echo going on. What I wanted to share with you is that pretty soon the new mini catalog that will start January 5th, as well as Celebration, will start. If you're not currently working with the demonstrator and you would like a catalog, please message me, email me, just get a hold of me and let me know that you would like one. I would charge you $10 for me to cover the cost of mailing and sending you and the cost of the catalogs, but included in it will be a $10 coupon that you can apply to your first order that you place between January and February. So you get your $10 back right away if you're interested. But I'm happy to send out these catalogs to anybody who is interested. Okay, so tonight's class, what I wanted to concentrate on or to kind of share with you is the embossing folder that can get a little bit lost in the back of the annual catalog. It's called Stripes and Splatters, and it is a 3D embossing folder that can also work with the mini embossing folder die cut machine on it. So if you have the mini, this is one that you can use, but of course you can still use it with the regular Stampin' Up! Die cutting and embossing machine, and that's what I'll be using here tonight. So these make some really interesting backgrounds on it of the splatters and the stripes, and so we'll be making these two cards here. I'm going to be highlighting the 2022-24 in colors. I'm going to be using the two colors of Tahitian Tide and Starry Sky here tonight at class. I will make these same cards, but with different colors, and I'll be posting them over on my Facebook page. So, please tune in later on this week or pop in and I'll show you what all of the cards can look like in the colors. I ran out of a little bit of time this week, had a little bit of illness in the family that I had to kind of help out with, but I'll be making these so that you can see what all of it looks like. If you look at the product descriptions, what you're going to see is that I am recommending that if this is something that you like, the color palette, that you work with the assorted packs. So of course the designer paper, the 2022-24 in colors, you do get an assorted pack of the 6x6 designer series paper. But what I would recommend, unless you really wanted to get a full pack of all of these, is you can get the assorted pack where you get like a variety. You get so many of each of these colors in one pack. So you don't have to buy all 5 big packs of it. So it really does help you spread your crafting budget, as well as on those assorted packs of cardstocks. You can always kind of see what your favorite is. You guys have heard me recommend that many times, and I just really believe in it. It's a great way of having a variety with one cost of the card pack. Okay, I'm going to turn just the view around to our projects and we'll get started here with the actual project. As mentioned, we are going to be focusing on the Stripes and Splatters 3D embossing folder. Again, you get both of them when you place that order on there. And I'm going to kind of show you some simple designs that you can do using this, and we'll just kind of have some fun. I wanted to show you how I applied color to the 3D embossing folders so that you could replicate this look with any of your embossing folders that you may have. All right, since it is our birthday class here, I also wanted to pick out this Biggest Wish stamp set. I love that you get all of the sentiments in 2 different font styles. So that way, whatever the feeling is that you want to do, you'll be in good shape, or you have the variety of it here. So not only the birthdays, you've got friendship and thanks in this Biggest Wish stamp set. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll get started with the embossing folder, because it is the start of the show. So I'm going to need to make just a little room here as we go to make sure I can get everything in the camera and show you how we're going to do this. Okay. So on the first card here, we're going to use the Splatter 3D folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Starry Sky ink pad. And I'm going to take the ink pad and I'm going to apply it to the embossing folder directly. The tip that I've learned and that I've said for years is word side up is right side up. So this is the side that's going to do the embossing. So when we open it up, that's the side with the Stampin' Up! Word on it that we're going to apply the ink to. Okay, so we're just going to take our ink pad and just apply it right to the inside of it. And then what I like to do is take my blending brush. Can you see how that kind of has a little line on it there where the ink pad is? If we take our blending brush and I'm just going to kind of smooth out and spread out a little bit the ink on it. That's totally optional. All right, so now I'm going to get a piece of, this is our basic white cardstock, and I'm going to just, it'll only emboss part of the, part of it because it's not a full, it's only a 3-inch wide embossing folder. So it's only going to emboss part of it. So I'm going to put it so that it's kind of flush on the right-hand side and close it. And let's see here, before I do, I can kind of see where that ink is at. All right, so I'm going to do this. And then when you have your embossing folder or your die cut machine, you get all of this stuff with it. To do the embossing, the instructions here, you can just, it's imprinted right here on the base. We want to use the base, the embossing folder, and then the embossing top plate. This is number 4. Okay, we'll run it through. Sorry if it jiggles the camera a little bit. Okay, so when we're done, we are going to get this really awesome and funky looking embossing folder. So this is the Splatter. So with having the ink on it, it's not going to hit the, the ink's going to pick up on the raised part and leave the white images, and that's going to give us our splatter. Later, I'll just run this under the faucet and take all of the ink off its water base, and that'll come up just beautiful, and let it air dry, and it'll be good to go for the next time. Okay, I'll put the die cutting machine down, and let's go ahead and we'll put together this card. Super, super fast cards that we're going to do here tonight. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use that Biggest Wish stamp set, and I'm going to keep with the Starry Sky. So all of these cards are going to be monochromatic. We're going to just stay with one color palette within all of the cards. Whoops, I jiggled that just a little too much. There we go. And this does not have a matching die cutting, any die cutting with it, but I wanted to just let everybody see how that we can so fussy cut these. And I'm going to just kind of get my scrap white down a little bit, and you can just kind of follow the curve of the letters however you like. I'm using this script font on this one, and you can kind of go up and down. I'm not lifting my scissors too much, but we'll just kind of follow that. And there's our happy. So I think so many times that we, don't get me wrong, I love my matching dies. I mean, I think we all do, but it's not always where we have to. So just because a stamp set doesn't have, you know, a matching die doesn't mean that we can't still do kind of a throwback of our fussy cutting. Okay. So there's our happy birthday. Okay, let's put this together. All right, so on the left-hand side here, this is where the embossing folder, you know, did not cover the whole way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that designer paper from the 2022-24 in color pack. And I'm going to pick one of the patterns of the Starry Sky. And I'm trying to get a bunch of birthday cards made up that can be for anybody. So I've got a lot of great nephews and nieces, and you know, I just want to have cards on hand that I can just pull out and use for everybody. In the assorted cardstock pack of that same in color family, I cut a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. And we'll get that down. And that's kind of my little transition piece to it. And I didn't trim this down ahead of time quite right. So what I'm going to do is after I get that glued down with the multi-purpose glue, I'm just going to flip it over and trim that off. And let's see here. Get this just trimmed just a little more so that white doesn't show there. Normally would take this over to the trimmer, but I think I can just kind of fake it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's the basis of our card front here. And I'm going to go ahead and use our Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're going to put, I want to raise this whole thing. So I'm going to put, going to use 8 of them. So 2 in the middle and 3 on the sides, because I really want it to support the whole, this whole layer here. And take your pick tool to help me get the backing off of them. I can do that a little faster if I do that with it. Let's see, I don't think I got that one. There we go. And on the card base, I kind of have it going in a little different direction. I have it cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, so that when it's done, it stands, you know, more vertically than horizontally on that. Cute. Gonna get our happy birthday that we fussy cutted. Same thing, we're gonna go ahead and pop those up with some regular dimensionals. So let me know in the comments if you guys have ever inked your embossing folders like this before. Or if not, like if you think that you might give it a try. I know sometimes like it's so easy just to grab the, you know, some of the, you know, our colored cardstock and do that with, but you know, we can also do our direct to ink. All right, so we have that. And then since we are, you know, kind of doing the in colors, here I've got the Baker's Twine assorted combo pack of those same 2022 in colors. And let's make a bow with our Starry Sky. I'm using a bow maker. My nephew make these. If you're interested, let me know. And we'll do this. We'll get a little. And I use a glue dot to put that on. Put that up here on the edge. And then add a little bling because it is our birthday here. And what we can do as well is if you have your Stampin' Blends marker in the 2022-24 in colors. Here I'm using Starry Sky. And we'll get 3 of those colored. And we'll just add a little sparkle to it. And then lastly, let's see here, where's my last of it? Oops. Well, I don't know what I did with it here. It must be just outer reach. But then I also took some of that designer paper, and this is a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4, and just lined the inside of our card. All right, so that is card number 1 using the Stripes and Splatter embossing folder. And of course, that's the splatter. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's see what the stripe looks like doing that same technique. All right, so I'll bring our Stampin' die cutting and emboss machine in. Get my 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of basic white. Now I'm going to use some Tahitian tide. And we'll do the same thing. We've got word side up is right side up. That's where we want to go. Open it up. Add the ink all on the inside. And then we'll take our blending brush and just maybe smooth over just to make sure that there's no jagged lines on it. Now on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to center it onto the embossing folder. Again, the embossing folder is not going to cover the whole piece of cardstock, but I'm going to put it right in the center so I have a little bit of edge on either side. Put it into the machine, make a sandwich between the main platform, the embossing folder, then the medium gray top that goes for the embossing folders. And then we get this cool, to me this kind of is a little bit or it looks like some water with using that Tahitian tide. So, you know, you could so use the sailboat on it as well. We have that sailboat die. All right, so now I'm all done with that. And it's going to be very similar to what we just did with the other card. All right, so let's see here. So we'll get our Tahitian tide. And I have a 1 1/4 by 2 inch and a 1 1/4 by 2 1/2 inch piece of basic white. And I'm going to take the happy and stamp that. And then get the birthday and stamp that. Now the other one, the script one, that happy birthday, those are 2 independent stamp images as well. I just put them on the same block for stamping purposes. Oops, that's a little bit off. Let's try it again. Sometimes it's hard when you're filming to get it as straight as what you like. Okay. And close the ink up so I don't get that over everything. We'll get the card base. Again, I have it going in the other direction. And we're going to load up the back of this with our dimensionals, just like last time. So I'm going to put a total of 8 on. This would also be a good one if you're going to put the whole layer up like this, to use the edges of your dimensional sheets. And we'll get this, get our backing off. So as you can see, this is these cards can go pretty quickly on it, especially if we're just, you know, keeping it monochromatic, tone on tone. All right, this time, just a little different way of opening the card. So this one's going to open like this. And I'm going to layer this on some of our Tahitian tide cardstock. This is a 1/4 inch larger than this. So this is 2 1/2 by 2 1/4. And I'm going to just put some liquid glue on the back of this. And I'm going to have it kind of at a little jaunty angle. And I'm going to match this corner of it up with this edge. And then I'll get the birthday. And as long as you do it kind of the same way, so it's the angle's pretty much the same, we'll be in good shape. So I'll go ahead and have that angle up like that. And then this one is cut at 1.5 by 2 3/4. Let's see, there we go. Alrighty. So now we'll go ahead and put these up. Get some dimensionals on the back. So here on the sentiments, you know, we're fussy cutting and we're just doing some straight cuts right out. So, you know, these are great cards if you don't want to get all of your stash out to make something, or maybe you're just getting started in stamping. This would be a great set of cards and material to have to get started with that. Okay, so I'm going to actually pull this up a little bit. So I'm going to make the Tahitian tide, this to be straight, but then it kind of angles our birthday sentiments. And I'll get my bow maker out again, and this time we will get our Tahitian tide string out. Great on the combo packs. Again, you've got a multitude of colors, or you've got all of the colors so that you can mix and match. Use what you know, so one purchase and you got 5 different colors. And we'll go ahead and get that. So again, it's kind of repetitive of what the materials that we're using, but yet just doing a slightly different layout can really change the look of it. Okay, I've got my glue dot on the back of it. This time I'm going to put it in the center here on that. And then optional, if you want to color your rhinestones with the matching Stamp and Blend in Tahitian Tide. And I'll get some of these over here. And I'll use just 3 of them. I'm going to put one of the larger ones here on the center of the bow. And then we'll put one of the rhinestones here in the corner on the cardstock. And another one here up at the top. All right. And then here's where our designer paper can come in to do a little decorating on the inside of the card. And let me just go and cut those down again. Hold, please. So these are 1/2 inch by 5 3/4 or 5 1/4. And you can either use the polka dot side or the plaid side. And I'm going to put a little border on the bottom and then a little border on the top, just so that there's some of the fun color, and you can use the designer paper from the assorted pack in there. Okay, and that's our class tonight. Let's bring in the cards again and kind of just share with you what we can make here. So this is a way that you can utilize some of your embossing folders. And just in case you might have overlooked, like I did here at first, the Stripes and Splatters embossing folder, and how you can apply ink to it to really pop those the embossing elements out of it. All right, I'll go back through and look at all of the comments and reply to you. And I hope that you guys enjoyed class here tonight. Again, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up, like it, and leave a comment. And if you haven't yet, please follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.